So hey everyone, and in this video we are going to learn about routing in React.js. So have you ever wondered how we can visit from different pages? Like if your navigation bar is having sections like home page, about page, contact page, or different pages, about page. So how do you can exactly visit different pages? Suppose right now I'm on a home page and I want to visit the about page. So in normal HTML, CSS, I'll be creating about.html file, and then I'll take the user to that page. Okay, similar to this in React.js, we have routing. That means we would be simply clicking on a link, and it would take to us some specific page. But yeah, here we have some benefits in React.js. That is, not all the components are reloaded. For example, in every page, if you're using navigation bar, that is nav bar at the top, do you think it must be reloaded again and again? Obviously it would be like becoming a little bit slow, and it would at the end decrease the user experience. Okay, so it's better to always use router, and React.js provides very great functionality. And if you're using something else like Angular or Next.js later on, then obviously they have the same functionalities. And here in React.js also we have router. Okay, so now let's talk about router, exactly how do we use it, and later on I'll explain some more things. How is the benefit of router if I can do the same things using normal a tag, and I can provide links and exactly the same, but how does the router makes things better? So first of all, you have to install a package. So I'll just go to my terminal, and here I would simply type npm I react router DOM. You can search about it. You can search the npm react router DOM. You would find a npm website. Here you would find a package, and then you can install it. Okay, so I just directly install react router DOM without wasting any more time. Okay, so guys, once you install it, it would first of all be installed properly. Then what we would do is we would create some pages. Okay, so what we'll do is in the src file, right now you can see that we have app.js. So what I'll do is I'll just create a folder here, and I'll just name it as pages. For example, inside this I'm going to have my all pages. For example, here first of all I'm going to have the home pages, home page, home.js. Okay, similar to this we have one more page, suppose about.js. The folder structure can be different, that's totally up to you, but I'm just giving you a brief overview how exactly things work. And similarly, we have suppose the contact.js. Okay, again, the folder structure is again depends on you. You can just create these in separate files wherever you like, separate directories or files, whatever name you want to give. It's not compulsory. Okay, so I'll just name it. First of all, I'll just type RAFC. This is the shortcut which I get from the extension which I told you before. Again, here again I would simply type RAFCE, and here also I would simply type RAFCE. Now suppose here are the three pages, right? And we also must have a navigation bar, for example. So what we would do is we would simply say we have components also. So I would just type components or just name a directory. Inside this, all my components would be there. Suppose my navbar component, for that I've created a folder named as navbar, and here I would just create a file navbar.js. Okay, I've just created a file. I would just type RAFCE, and suppose inside this, first of all, let me just give a heading, and I would just say some logo would be here, for example. So I would just write a logo like this, and then I would just write UL tag, and inside this, for example, I would just say that we have three sections: home, about, contact. So that's how our navbar would look, and we would also give some styling here itself. But yeah, you can obviously create navbar.css, then give the styling there. So just write display as flex, because I want things to be in row. Okay, display flex, and flex uh, justify content justify content space between. Okay, so space between, that's it. Okay, space between. So I'm just saying that logo would be shown in the left and next content would be shown in the right. Okay, that's what I have said in the navbar. Right, so that's how my navbar looks. Now I have to use my navbar somewhere. For example, I'm going to say that we have a navbar, so just type navbar. Okay, so it would be imported, and let's say I would just write properly, this is home page. Okay, for example, this is home page, and I would just copy this, and I would do the same for about page. So this is about page, and you just need to press control and forward, control and space after this, and you can simply import this. Okay, similarly I would just paste it here, just paste it here. This is what, this is contact page, and control and forwards, control and space, so you would get this. Similarly, yes, we have these three pages, so I've just named them accordingly, right? So now what you have to do is, first of all, I would just try to use it, but first of all, you can see there, we just by default get app.js, right? So if I just try to use it, I would just type npm start. So if you write npm start, it would start your React.js application. So let's see how it exactly works. So guys, you can see that, yeah, it's showing me app.js. Instead of this, inside the app.js, either you can show home.js, either you can about.js, but contact.js. But the problem is, for example, I want to get some kind of, suppose in this page, I want to show home.js. Okay, so what I can do is I can set up routing. If suppose I type slash about, then I want to show about page. If I suppose type something else like contact slash contact, so I would want to show contact page. How you can exactly do that? So for that, you just need to say, now you don't exactly need the app.js, so you can actually delete this, or that's totally up to you. But I'm going to set up my routing inside index.js. But what you can do is you can set up your routing in app.js also, exactly the same. You just have to pick some root file, that is in this case suppose index.js. I'm going to assume that everything is connected to index.js, right? I'm just going to say that inside index.js, previously I was showing app, but this time I won't be showing app. Instead of this, I would simply create my router. Okay, so I would simply say here itself at the top, I'm just going to say let's create a variable const router equals create, and you just need to write create browser router. That's it. Okay, so in the previous versions of React.js there were separate methods, but this is the latest method which I have referred from the official website. I would also show that, but yeah, this is the latest method in React.js. And if you are, if in future you would be learning the framework that is Next.js, that's the framework of React.js, and later on we learn that. So in that the routing procedure is different, but the logic is exactly same. Okay, so here you can see that we have just named it. Now we're going to say that suppose if the path is just normal home, I'm just going to return which element. I'm just going to return the element home. Okay, so I would just say just return the home tag. Okay, that's it. That's what we want. Similarly, I would just say that what else? Suppose I would just say that suppose if sometimes like there would be different paths. For example, someone wants the about page. I would return the about page. Okay, that's it. So you just need to import things and then your task would be done. Now similarly, we would need the contact page. So we would just say contact, okay, and just import this. That's it. So guys, you can see that easily it's done. And now what you have to do is, here you can see previously we were showing app.js, that means app component, right? Here we were importing that, we were using that, but the problem is we deleted that and we just want to show elements directly. So what exactly can we do is we can simply import a router provider. Okay, so router provider actually would now allow to use you router. Okay, so router provider, and here inside this I'm just going to say router equals, and then we would just provide our variable. Okay, so yeah, here you can see that it's not closing tag because you have to provide the closing tag directly here. Now I think it must work properly. And one more problem is you can see cannot resolve because I think we were importing but we are not using. So I'll just comment this out, and now most probably it would be done. So now if I just show you, can see that's yes. So you can see if I just type slash contact, you can see now you're exactly in the contact page. Now suppose if I just leave it to normal, so you can see this is home page. And again, if I type slash about, so it would show me about page. So the benefit of using router is you can see that the navigation bar is still the same in all cases. So it would help us to always check that, like, right, we are just changing those components which are always changing. For example, in home page, navbar is same, the other data is different, so I would just change the other data. Navbar would still be the same. Even if I go to some other page like contact page, navigation bar is still there, you have other data, so you won't re-render navigation bar again and again. So it would always save the time and has more benefit. Like, obviously you need speed. Okay, so this is the best thing which you can do in the front end part, okay, in the routing part. Now what you want to do is, here also the problem is we have to set up our navigation bar. So first of all, say I'll just say that suppose the background color is, for example, I would just say black. Okay, background color black, and I would also want the text color inside this to be white. Okay, so now let's see how it exactly looks. So you can see it exactly looks like this. You can show an image instead of this h1 tag. And here also, guys, I'm just going to add some styles. So I would again say that here we have some styles. We actually don't need this, but yeah, we need some gaps. I would just say gap between each element is around 10 pixels. So you can see that, yeah, it looks like this, but the problem here is, again, we don't need any style. Okay, so list style as none. So if I write list style as none, so you can see that the styling is 1. Okay, one more thing, I think we can just type here align items, and this would be center. So you can exactly see now it's in center. So you can see that, yeah, till now it's done. And now what else you can do is you can add more styles to this, but I don't want to add some styles. I just want to just say if I click on home, if I click on about, or if I click on contact, what must happen? Okay, let me just complete the style, then we would proceed. So we would simply say we have navbar.css, right? And here we're just going to say we have to import dot slash navbar.css. That's it. Okay, so we have imported navbar.css, and now guys, instead of this, I would just say here we have class name as navbar. Okay, so I would just say dot navbar, and we're just going to paste this. Okay, now you can see the problem is the syntax is quite different, so we have to just change this. What we can do is we can just pass this, and actually I need to rewrite this properly. Okay guys, so I have just given some styling to this nav bar. I just made the position as sticky and then some box shadow, and now I think it looks cool like this. And I also need to say that we have the UL tag, right? So I would just say inside the nav bar we have the UL tag. So I just want to say that again, I want every item to be like this. And I would also say list style as none, because inside this we don't need any style. And we also need to give some gaps, or just say 20 pixel gap between each element would be fine. So you can see it looks fine. And also I would just say inside this we have the li. Okay, we have the li. So I would just say that we have some padding. Yeah, we have some padding. And I would also say that font size would be suppose 20 pixel, and font weight is suppose like this. So you can see now it looks fine. And also, so if someone hovers on this, I want to just give some highlight. So just say that if someone hovers on it, I would also give some highlight here. Okay, some lift. Okay, so first of all, I would just say cursor will become pointer, and I would also say that suppose the color becomes yellow. Okay, so text color would become yellow. So you can see, yeah, I think, yeah, instead of this you can pick some other color, but yeah, for now I think this is fine. Suppose someone clicks on this. Okay, like it is better, I would just say background color as yellow. Okay, yellow, and border radius and some text color to be black. Okay, so you can actually see that, yeah, it looks like this. So I think it is fine, and later on you can add more styles to it. You can add the border radius. Suppose if I make 25, so you can actually see, yeah, it looks fine. Okay, so now what you want is, suppose if I click on home, so I want to go to the home page, and similarly about page, and similarly other page. Okay, so how can I do this? Okay, how can I do this? Here we can simply import link tag from React. Okay, so I'll just import link tag from React router DOM. Just so it's in React router DOM, and it would actually help you to again navigate to different pages. So we would simply say, suppose here I just want to say we would just use link to home. Okay, so if forward slash is here, I would just link to home page. Okay, so let's see how it looks first. So you can see that it looks like this. Okay, so again I can just say like I would just add some styling to it. I would just say it has a class name of list style. Okay, or I would just say link style. Okay, link style, that would be better. Okay, so I would just copy this, and then I would just go here, and I would just paste it here, and I would just say text decoration as none, and now you can see that, yeah, it would look fine. Okay, now it's fine. So now you would come back, and similar to this, I actually want different pages. So I'll just copy this and paste. If someone wants to visit, suppose about page, and I would just take the user to about page. Similarly, I would just take the user to contact page, contact. Okay, so now let's see. So if I click on this, you can see you are on about page and contact page. Okay, so guys, that's how exactly the routing in React just easily works. So you can see that the navbar is so constant, never changes. You can't see the page loading. You can see that the website is constant. You can see the loading. Guys, for example, if I just show you Amazon, for example, if I go to today's deals, So you can see that it reloads the pages. Okay, so if I just go to different pages, every time the website would load. Let's wait for this to be loaded completely. I think my internet is a bit slow, but anyways, so you can see every time I just go to any link, it would reload the page. But that's not in the case of any website which built in React.js. Okay, normally. So you can see if we go to the about, it would take us to the about page without actually reloading the pages. It's just changing the components. So it's very fast and very easy to use. Okay, so you can see it's very fast and easy to use, right? That's how exactly you can make routes, and it's always convenient to have all of your routes in a single root file. You can see index.js is our one source which has access to other pages. Okay, so now you actually don't need app.js exactly, so you can now just create your pages and directly access it from your index.js. So it's very convenient and very easy to use. So guys, I hope you understood the purpose of routing, and it's the fastest. If I talk about other skills, other front-end frameworks which you would be using later on, it's the fastest. Okay, this is the only method which you always use. If I talk about modern front-end frameworks like Angular, Next.js, or if I talk about library like React.js, it's always the same. Okay, it's always the same. You would be using routing, and the purpose of that is it does not reload the components. The components which are only required are, like, for example, navbar never changes, so we would just make the navbar constant. We would load the other components, but we won't load the navbar. That means whole page won't be loaded once you click a link. Only the specific part which is required to be refreshed would be refreshed. Okay, that's it. So guys, I hope you understood this video. In this video we covered routing and navigation. Both of them are very important and you would be using them a lot. So that's it for today. I will see you in the next one. Till then, say a good day. Bye bye.